Why does Allah allow someone you trusted to hurt you deeply, even when you prayed for peace, loyalty, and goodness? Why does betrayal come from the very people you never imagined would cause you pain? Many believers silently ask this question while carrying a heavy heart, wondering if Allah sees their tears or hears the du'as whispered late at night. The truth is, Allah is never unaware, never absent, and never unjust. When someone hurts you, it is not chaos, it is not randomness, and it is not ignored. Allah has a way of dealing with those who hurt you that is far deeper, wiser, and more powerful than revenge. Today, you will understand why Allah allows heartbreak, how He responds to injustice, and how He protects the believer in ways the human eye cannot see. 1. Allah allows hurt to reveal true intentions. One of the earliest and most painful ways Allah deals with those who hurt you is by allowing their true intentions to be revealed to you, not necessarily to the world. Many people enter our lives appearing kind, supportive, and sincere. They speak softly, promise loyalty, and make us feel safe enough to open our hearts. But not every smile carries sincerity, and not every kind word comes from a pure heart. Allah, who sees beyond appearances, knows what lies beneath what people show. In His mercy, He does not allow deception to last forever, because living in an illusion would slowly destroy you from the inside. When someone hurts you, betrays your trust, or wrongs you deeply, that pain becomes a moment of clarity. It is not just emotional suffering, it is Allah lifting the veil from your eyes. Suddenly, things that never made sense begin to align. You realize why your heart felt uneasy, why certain behaviors felt off, why peace was missing even when everything looked fine on the surface. Allah allows the hurt so you finally see the truth clearly, without excuses, without denial, and without emotional blindness. Allah is Al-Alim, the all-knowing, the one who knows what is hidden in hearts long before actions reveal it. What you were unable to see because of love, attachment, or hope, Allah already knew. What you kept overlooking out of kindness or fear of loss, Allah allowed to come to light. This is not because Allah wants to hurt you, but because He loves you too much to let you remain attached to something that would slowly poison your heart, your faith, and your peace. Sometimes Allah lets someone break your heart, because if they had stayed longer, they would have broken your soul. The pain you feel today is often Allah stepping in before greater damage occurs tomorrow. That relationship, friendship, or attachment may have looked important, but Allah saw where it was leading. He saw how it would drain you, distract you from Him, or weaken your self-worth. So He intervened, not gently, but decisively, because gentle warnings were ignored. This kind of hurt is not punishment, it is protection. It is Allah removing what you were too attached to release on your own. It is Allah saving you from a future where your heart would have suffered even more deeply. Mercy does not always arrive as comfort. Sometimes mercy arrives as heartbreak that wakes you up, redirects your path, and saves you from losing yourself. 2. Allah is patient, but He never forgets injustice. When someone hurts you and you see them continuing their life as if nothing happened, it can create deep confusion in the heart. You may wonder why Allah allows the one who caused you pain to walk freely while you are left struggling with emotional wounds. This is where many people misunderstand Allah's justice. Allah is not slow because He is unaware, and He is not silent because He approves. Allah is patient because His justice is perfect, precise, and unavoidable. Allah sees every word that was spoken behind your back, every intention that was hidden, and every tear you shed in silence. Nothing escapes His knowledge. The Qur'an reminds us again and again that Allah is never unjust, even by the weight of an atom. When injustice happens, Allah records it fully, in detail, without emotion, without bias, and without error. What feels forgotten to you is carefully preserved with Allah. Allah often gives the wrongdoer time, not to escape, but to reveal themselves more clearly. Sometimes Allah allows a person to continue in comfort so their arrogance grows, their behavior becomes consistent, and their wrongdoing becomes undeniable. This delay is not mercy for the oppressor, it is evidence against them. While you are healing, Allah is counting. While you are trying to understand the pain, Allah is preparing justice in a way that no human system ever could. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that Allah may delay punishment, but when He takes hold of the oppressor, He does not let them escape. This means justice will come at the exact moment it carries the deepest impact. Sometimes it comes through loss, sometimes through humiliation, sometimes through inner emptiness, and sometimes in ways only Allah knows. Not all punishment looks dramatic on the outside. Some people are punished with a hardened heart, a restless soul, and a life empty of peace, even if it appears successful. Your role is not to chase revenge or obsess over fairness. Your role is to trust that Allah has taken the case into His own hands. When you choose patience, you are not choosing weakness. You are choosing to stand on the side of Allah's justice instead of your own emotions. This patience protects your heart from becoming consumed by anger and bitterness, while Allah handles what you cannot. Never think that your silence means defeat, or that your patience means injustice has won. Allah is the most just, and His timing is flawless. Every wrong will be answered, every hurt will be addressed, and every tear will be compensated. Even if justice does not come in the way you expect, it will come in the way that is most fitting, most complete, and most final. 3. Allah elevates the one who is wronged. When someone hurts you and you choose patience instead of revenge, Allah begins a process that most people never see, but its effects are powerful and lasting. Allah does not allow the pain of a believer to go unnoticed or unrewarded. Every moment of heartbreak, every tear shed in private, and every silent dua made when no one else understood is recorded by Allah with complete precision. While the pain feels heavy in your chest, something far greater is happening to your soul. Allah elevates the one who is wronged because injustice humbles the heart and removes arrogance that comfort often strengthens. When life is easy, people rely on themselves. But when you are hurt, betrayed, or misunderstood, your heart naturally turns toward Allah. You begin to seek Him more sincerely, not out of habit, but out of need. This sincere turning is one of the greatest forms of worship. Allah loves the broken heart that comes to Him honestly, without pride, without masks, and without false strength. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that no fatigue, illness, sadness, or harm touches a believer, not even a thorn that pricks them, except that Allah removes sins or raises their rank because of it. This means your pain is not meaningless. It is not wasted suffering. Every ounce of patience you show is either erasing something that would have burdened you in the hereafter or lifting you closer to Allah in status. While the person who hurt you accumulates wrongdoing, you accumulate reward simply by choosing restraint and trust. Allah also elevates you by giving you wisdom that comfort never could. Pain sharpens awareness. You begin to understand people more clearly, life more realistically, and yourself more deeply. You learn where your limits are, what your heart truly needs, and where your reliance must remain. This awareness protects you in the future. It helps you choose better, love more wisely, and walk away sooner from what threatens your peace and faith. There is also a quiet strength that Allah plants inside those who are wronged. It is not loud confidence or pride, but calm resilience. You survive what you thought would destroy you, and in doing so, Allah shows you that your strength was never dependent on people, circumstances, or approval. It was always tied to Him. This realization alone elevates you beyond the reach of those who once had the power to hurt you. Even when the world does not acknowledge your suffering, Allah honors it. Even when no apology comes, Allah compensates. Even when the story feels unfinished, Allah completes it in ways you may only fully understand later. Your elevation may not look dramatic today, but it is steady, lasting, and deeply rooted. Allah raises those who are patient with injustice, not because pain is good, but because trust in Allah during pain is one of the highest forms of faith. 4. Allah uses heartbreak to redirect your life. Sometimes the pain you experience is not because something went wrong, but because something was going too far in the wrong direction. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, sees the entire path of your life, not just the moment you are standing in. You see the relationship, the attachment, or the connection as something valuable, comforting, or necessary. Allah sees where it would have taken you, how it would have shaped your heart, and how it would have affected your faith, your peace, and your future. When Allah allows heartbreak, it is often because He is redirecting you away from a path that would have slowly harmed you. Many people think redirection always comes gently, through signs, feelings, or small warnings. But sometimes the heart is too attached to listen. We ignore discomfort because of hope. We excuse behavior because of emotional investment. We stay longer than we should because letting go feels too painful. In those moments, Allah intervenes more firmly. Heartbreak becomes the force that pushes you where wisdom alone could not. What feels like loss is actually Allah closing a door you would never have closed yourself. Allah removes people from your life, not because they were always evil, but because they were no longer meant to walk with you. Some people are lessons, not lifetimes. Some connections exist to teach you something about boundaries, self-worth, patience, or reliance on Allah. Once that lesson is complete, keeping them in your life would only delay your growth. Allah knows when a chapter has ended, even when your heart is still rereading it. Heartbreak also clears space. When your heart is filled with the wrong attachments, there is little room for what truly belongs to you. Allah removes what occupies your heart so He can replace it with something better aligned with who you are becoming. This replacement may not arrive immediately because healing must come before new blessings. Allah does not rush healing because unhealed hearts carry pain into new beginnings. So He allows a season of solitude, reflection, and rebuilding. During this redirection, Allah often brings you closer to Him in ways comfort never did. You pray differently, you listen more carefully. You begin to understand that your security was never meant to come from people, but from Allah alone. This shift is life-changing. It breaks unhealthy dependence and builds spiritual independence. You learn to stand firmly, even when people walk away. What you call heartbreak is often Allah's protection wrapped in pain. Years later, many people look back and realize that if that person had stayed, they would have lost themselves, their faith, or their purpose. Allah saved them, not by giving them what they wanted, but by removing what they could not see was harmful. Redirection is mercy, even when it arrives through tears. Trust that Allah is not taking you away from happiness, but guiding you toward a better version of it. 5. Allah tests you, not to break you, but to strengthen you. When someone hurts you deeply, it may feel like life is trying to crush you, but in reality, Allah is testing you in a way that is meant to build you, not destroy you. Allah never sends a test without knowing that you are capable of carrying it. The pain you face is not random, and it is not proof that you are weak or abandoned. It is evidence that Allah is shaping your character, your faith, and your inner strength through difficulty rather than comfort. Allah tests the heart when it is attached, because attachment reveals what you rely on most. When someone breaks your heart, Allah is gently asking you a powerful question. Where does your dependence truly lie? Is it on people, validation, and expectations, or is it on Allah alone? Pain strips away illusions and forces honesty. You realize that people can change, leave, or hurt you, but Allah remains constant. This realization is not learned in ease. It is carved into the heart through hardship. Every test carries a choice. You can allow pain to turn into bitterness, anger, and resentment, or you can allow it to refine you into someone calmer, wiser, and closer to Allah. Allah does not judge you for feeling pain, sadness, or confusion. These are human responses. What matters is what you do after the pain. Do you turn away from Allah, or do you turn toward Him with humility and trust? That response defines the outcome of the test. Allah also uses hardship to strengthen your emotional and spiritual endurance. Before the test, you may have believed you could not survive such loss or betrayal. After the test, you realize that Allah carried you through moments you thought would destroy you. This realization builds unshakable confidence, not in yourself, but in Allah's support. You learn that even when your heart feels weak, Allah's strength fills the gaps you cannot fill on your own. Tests also purify intentions. They separate surface-level faith from deep, sincere belief. When everything is easy, faith is effortless. When life becomes painful, faith becomes a conscious choice. Choosing patience, prayer, and trust during heartbreak is one of the highest forms of worship. It shows Allah that your relationship with Him is not conditional on comfort. Most importantly, Allah never leaves you alone in your test. Even when you feel isolated, misunderstood, or exhausted, Allah is closer than you realize. He listens to every dua made in pain, and He responds in ways that protect you long-term, even if short-term relief is delayed. This test will not last forever. Its purpose is not to crush you, but to prepare you for a future where your heart is stronger, your faith is deeper, and your reliance on Allah is unbreakable. 6. Allah protects you from becoming like them. One of the greatest dangers after being hurt is not the pain itself, but what that pain can turn you into if it is left unchecked. When someone wrongs you deeply, it is very easy to let anger, bitterness, and resentment take control of your heart. You may feel justified in hardening yourself, closing off emotionally, or treating others the same way you were treated. But Allah, in His wisdom and mercy, does not allow a believer to remain in that state for long. He uses the pain to protect you from becoming the very kind of person who caused your suffering. Allah knows that becoming like the one who hurt you would be a greater loss than the hurt itself. Losing your compassion, your integrity, and your sincerity would damage your soul far more than any betrayal ever could. That is why Allah reminds the believer, through pain, of the consequences of cruelty. You now understand how deeply words can wound, how betrayal destroys trust, and how neglect empties the heart. This awareness becomes a shield that protects you from inflicting the same harm on others. Through this experience, Allah softens your heart instead of hardening it. While the one who hurt you may grow more careless, more distant from accountability, or more comfortable with wrongdoing, Allah pulls you closer to self-reflection and faith. You become more mindful of how you speak, how you act, and how you treat others. You begin to choose kindness, not out of weakness, but out of understanding. This is a form of spiritual maturity that only comes through hardship. Allah also protects you by teaching you restraint. You learn that reacting emotionally often creates regret, while patience creates peace. By holding your tongue, controlling your anger, and choosing dignity over revenge, you preserve your character. The Prophet ﷺ taught that true strength is not in overpowering others, but in controlling oneself when angry. Every moment you restrain yourself, Allah protects your heart from being consumed by negativity. There is also a deep purification that takes place when you refuse to let pain define you. Instead of becoming cynical, you become discerning. Instead of becoming cold, you become wise. Instead of becoming harsh, you become balanced. Allah teaches you boundaries without bitterness and strength without cruelty. This balance is rare, and it is a gift that Allah gives to those who choose patience over retaliation. In protecting you from becoming like them, Allah preserves your identity as a believer. You are not meant to mirror injustice. You are meant to rise above it. Your pain becomes a lesson, not a personality, and in that process, Allah safeguards your heart, your faith, and your future from being shaped by the wrongdoing of others. 7. Allah will replace what was taken with something better. One of the most comforting promises of Allah is that He never takes something from a believer without planning a better replacement, even if that replacement does not arrive immediately. When someone hurts you and something precious is taken from your heart, whether it is trust, love, security, or emotional peace, it can feel as if a part of you has been stolen forever. But Allah is not unjust, and He is not careless with the hearts of His servants. What leaves your life does so by Allah's permission, and what Allah permits to be removed is never removed without wisdom. Allah understands that human beings attach deeply. We do not just lose people, we lose memories, routines, hopes, and imagined futures. Allah allows you to grieve this loss because grief itself is part of healing. But while you are grieving, Allah is already preparing something better suited to the person you are becoming. What He replaces is not always the same form as what was taken. Sometimes He replaces a person with peace. Sometimes He replaces a relationship with clarity. Sometimes He replaces emotional chaos with inner stability and closeness to Him. Allah's replacements are better because they do not come with the same harm. The comfort Allah gives does not betray you. The peace Allah places in your heart does not leave without warning. The strength Allah builds within you does not depend on someone else's behavior. Over time, you begin to realize that what you thought you lost was actually limiting you. The replacement gives you room to breathe, to grow, and to live without constant emotional tension. There is also a timing in Allah's replacement that many people struggle to understand. Allah does not rush blessings into wounded hearts. He heals first, then gives. He teaches first, then replaces. If the replacement came too early, it might resemble the old pain rather than correct it. This is why patience is essential. Trusting Allah's timing protects you from repeating the same mistakes with new faces. Allah also replaces loss with wisdom. You become more selective, more aware, and more grounded. You no longer chase connections that drain you. You no longer beg for what should be given freely. This wisdom itself is a priceless replacement because it protects you from future heartbreak. In the end, Allah's promise is true. Nothing given up for Allah is ever truly lost. Every tear, every sacrifice, and every moment of patience is compensated in a way that brings more peace than pain. One day, you will look back and realize that what was taken had to leave so that something far better could enter. Trust Allah, because His replacements are always greater than what He removes. 8. Allah turns your pain into a source of light for others. One of the most beautiful and often overlooked ways Allah deals with your heartbreak is by transforming your pain into guidance, wisdom, and light that benefits not only you, but others as well. At the moment of hurt, this may feel impossible to imagine. Pain feels personal, isolating, and heavy. But Allah never allows suffering to exist without purpose. What wounds you today can become the very means through which Allah uses you tomorrow. When Allah allows you to be hurt and then helps you heal, He gives you a depth of understanding that cannot be learned from books, lectures, or comfort. You begin to recognize pain in others without them speaking. You become more gentle with broken hearts because you know what it feels like to carry silent wounds. Your words gain weight because they come from experience, not theory. Allah turns your struggle into a form of quiet leadership, where your presence itself becomes a source of comfort. Many people are guided back to Allah, not through sermons, but through someone who understands their pain without judgment. Your story, even if you never share it publicly, influences how you treat others, how you advise them, and how you respond when someone is hurting. Allah uses this softened heart to spread mercy, patience, and hope in places where bitterness could have grown instead. In this way, your pain does not end with you. It becomes sadaqah of character. Allah also teaches you how to rely on Him in ways that inspire others. When people see that you were hurt yet did not become cruel, that you were wronged yet did not abandon your faith, and that you were broken yet did not lose trust in Allah, it leaves an impact. Your resilience becomes proof that Allah truly heals hearts. Without saying much, your life becomes a reminder that Allah brings light out of darkness. Even if no one ever knows what you endured, Allah knows how He used it. Sometimes the benefit of pain is not visible in this world, but its reward is immense in the hereafter. The patience you showed, the forgiveness you struggled toward, and the trust you maintained despite heartbreak are all forms of worship. Allah rewards worship not only with personal peace, but with lasting impact. In this way, Allah does not let your pain remain pain. He refines it, redirects it, and transforms it into wisdom, empathy, and strength that radiates outward. What once hurt you becomes something that heals others, even if you never intended it. This is how Allah honors the believer. He turns wounds into wisdom, tears into guidance, and heartbreak into light. If someone hurt you, betrayed your trust, or broke your heart, understand this with complete certainty. Allah saw everything. Not a single word, intention, or tear went unnoticed. What felt like abandonment was never abandonment. What felt like loss was never without purpose. Allah allows pain, not because He wants you to suffer, but because He wants to protect you, refine you, and elevate you in ways comfort never could. Through heartbreak, Allah reveals truth, establishes justice, raises your rank, redirects your path, strengthens your faith, protects your character, replaces what was taken, and even turns your pain into light for others. Nothing in your suffering was wasted. Every moment of patience mattered. Every tear carried weight. Every silent dua was heard. Your responsibility was never to seek revenge or demand explanations from people. Your responsibility was to hold on to Allah when everything else slipped away. And if you did that, even imperfectly, even while struggling, then know that you succeeded. Healing may take time, and answers may not come immediately, but Allah's plan never fails. One day, you will look back and realize that what broke your heart also saved your soul. Trust Allah's wisdom, even when it hurts. Trust His timing, even when it feels slow. And trust His justice, even when it feels delayed. Allah is the best of planners, and when He handles those who hurt you, He does so with perfect knowledge, perfect mercy, and perfect justice.